The following is a clip from Thunderfoot's latest video.
Christianity and science. Now let's establish the value of those contributions in different fields from a smart man in order to get a feel for which of these forms of work has a greater value to mankind.
This is called a false dichotomy, which is an informal fallacy in basic logic and can be found in the majority of Thunderfoot's videos and is the foundation of his evangelical efforts to preach the scientism gospel here on YouTube. The false dichotomy works by deceiving his audience into thinking two ideas are mutually exclusive when in reality they are not. That is, Thunderfoot wants to make you think that if one idea is true, then the other is false. In this case, Thunderfoot wants to make you think that if science works, then religion, specifically Christianity, does not, or that if science works, then God does not exist. This is a false dichotomy. We can better see how a false dichotomy might work by giving an example. If a marine biologist was asked, based on his research of ocean life, what could he tell us about astronomy, he would probably tell us not very much or nothing at all. We should not therefore conclude that the field of astronomy is a useless endeavor just because it offers nothing in the field of marine biology. Likewise, science deals strictly in the natural world, and God, by definition, would be the creator of the natural world and thus transcend it, as no creator exists inside its creation. Religion, therefore, deals in what is called metaphysics, that which is beyond the physical world. To expect metaphysics to produce scientific experiments or technologies is absurd and a basic category mistake, as the scientific method makes no statements about the metaphysical, although the metaphysical often makes statements about the physical, being that it transcends it.
There's a reason why the Bible played no role whatsoever in the discovery or development of the Big Bang Theory.
Of course it didn't, and I never claimed that it did. Here we can see Thunderfoot's false dichotomy at work. If the Bible cannot produce a scientific insight, he would have us believe, then the Bible is not true, as if the Bible exists for the purpose of making scientific discoveries. The Bible exists for one purpose and one purpose alone, to bring people into the knowledge of their Creator and to explain how one can secure an eternal relationship with Him that will survive death itself. After all the science in the world won't help you once you're dead.
Indeed, it's so successful, it's not that it's just got no peer or rival, it's genuinely in a class of its own. There simply is no other methodology that can even compete with it in terms of its ability to deliver the goods. That is the measure of the success of science. And where is the measure of the success of religion? Where are the pragmatic and demonstrable benefits?
Apparently you really don't spend much time talking to Christians, how their lives have been transformed. I can speak from my own experience. I was suicidal from like the age of about 7 or 8 years old up until about 20 years old. I have scars on my wrists. Jesus Christ saved me from a life of meaningless depression and suicidal thoughts, and now I'm actually, other than the misery of a lot of what goes on YouTube, a pretty happy guy. I have hope, and I have joy, and I actually have motivation for getting up in the morning. And that's all thanks to Christianity. It has given me a reason to live, and millions of other people. I can provide a link up on the screen about a guy who was born without legs and without arms, who's actually a very successful and happy man. And why? Because of Christ. I know for a fact you, Thunderfoot, and other atheists suffer from depression. It's evident in your voice and the way you talk and your worldview. And after all, how can you not? I distinctly remember my depression beginning when I was in grade 1, when I was taught evolution and started arguing with my teachers in Hebrew school about why I didn't believe in God anymore. Man is designed, we need God. It is the very purpose of our existence. Without God, life is meaningless, and dark and death is going to absolutely obliterate us, and there is no hope for the future. That is simply a fact of atheism, that it leaves you without hope, and it cripples your ability to live a hopeful, joyful life. So Thunderfoot seems to expect Christianity to be able to build a space shuttle, as if that was Christianity's main aim. Now, it is true that Christianity makes certain claims about the natural world. In fact, the first thing we read in the Bible is a claim about the natural world, that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, while it is true that no information in the Bible contradicts what is known about the beginnings of the universe, after all, the Big Bang Theory states that the universe had a definitive beginning as space and time expanded, which is precisely what the Bible teaches. The Bible does not tell us how to discover this by way of a method. Rather, it simply tells us these facts about how God made the universe, and using the scientific method we can later discover that what God told us thousands of years before was accurate. It is precisely because the Bible contains information regarding the natural world that could not have been known at the time of writing and not discovered until the worldwide acceptance of the scientific method that the information in the Bible is so profound.
The one thing that you'll note is that at no point in the last 3,000 years did any of the millions of Christians who have read the Bible say, you know, this Bible's the best source of knowledge in the world. Maybe we should verify some of it and use it to, I don't know, discover modern water treatment or design the odd vaccine. Whatever. Something that might save a few billion lives. Because the Bible has no predictive capability.
I would like to challenge that notion. 3,000 years ago, the Bible described the paths of the seas in Psalm chapter 8. In the 19th century, the father of oceanography, named Matthew Murray, after reading Psalm 8, researched and discovered ocean currents that follow specific paths through the seas. Utilizing Murray's data, marine navigators have since reduced by many days the time required to traverse the seas. So, Thunderfoot, your claim that the Bible has never aided scientific research is simply false.
Because the Bible has no predictive capability.
The Bible does, in one sense, make scientific predictions. That is, what it says predicts something we will later discover. And yet the Bible itself cannot provide a method to make said discoveries because it provides no method for doing so, which also means it was not the scientific method that led the biblical authors to their keen insights regarding the natural world. The question, then, is, how did the authors of the Bible know these things that only science allowed us to discover within the last few hundred years? It is for this reason that people like Sir Isaac Newton, myself, and millions of others believe that the Bible is not just the invention of primitive minds, but the self-revelation of God, who gave a witness of himself, written down, containing information that validates his claims to being the Creator, who alone knows that which man does not know. Science serves to validate the authenticity of the Bible's claims to divine inspiration, since it is only through science or divine revelation that man could have known the things in the Bible, and we know it wasn't science.
Well, it's time to put that to the test, PCS. Time to show that your God and your Bible have predictive capability. All you have to do is come up with some great Nobel Prize-winning discovery between you and your God and source it to the Bible. Or for that matter, any scientific discovery. But please, PCS, prove me wrong.
All right, Thunderfoot, I've given you one. But frankly, it doesn't matter if I gave you 100 or 500. You still wouldn't become a Christian, and I'll tell you why. You hate God. I mean, just listen to yourself when you say the word God.
And your God, and your God, God.
It's like Voldemort, the word you dare not say.
But please, PCS, prove me wrong.
Well, I did, and I have many times before, but the issue here, Thunderfoot, is you don't care about being right or wrong. What you care about is denying God. I mean, you'd think that the atheists would be most interested in arguments, but here's a video, one of the most popular on Thunderfoot's channel, where I apologize to him over a certain DMCA issue, and it gets 350,000 hits, as if it's the most exciting thing in the world to see a creationist apologize. Why? Because to people who hate God, this somehow legitimizes their position. It has nothing to do with intellectual integrity or arguments or persuasiveness. It only has to do with defamation of character, ad hoc attacks, and whatnot, which is, of course, the majority of Thunderfoot's videos. The fact that you call me PCS...
But please, PCS, please, PCS, please, PCS.
For those of you who don't know, PCS stands for Poster Boy for Creationist Stupidity. Apparently, Thunderfoot never got past the infatuation with calling people nicknames in kindergarten. Obviously, the nickname implies that creationism is stupid, the idea that God exists and that he created everything, even though there's nothing more natural than believing that the creation is created. After all, if matter, time, and space had a beginning, it must have had a cause. And Thunderfoot doesn't appreciate the fact that science has actually done much to confirm the Bible and what it says, as I've demonstrated in this video. But concerning nicknames, I don't know, man. If I was a 40-year-old single man who made my YouTube career by picking on someone of the same gender who was half my age, all kinds of questions would come up. But you know what? If I was going to sink to your level and give you a punchy little nickname, I would name you PMS, which would stand for Pathetic Mouthpiece of Satan. But I'm not going to sink to your level because, Thunderfoot, honestly, in seriousness, I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend. I've been trying to reach out to you for years now. And every time I reach out my hand, you just bite it. My entire purpose on YouTube, the reason I get up every day and put up with the abuse that people like you put me through, is because I actually genuinely care about your eternity. The Bible makes a prediction, another prediction. This isn't necessarily a scientific one, but it is true, and it will come true of you if you don't take heed. The Bible says there is a place that God has prepared for lawbreakers, people who hate him, who disobey him, a place called the lake of fire. It's a place of eternal torment, and you're on your way, and you've deceived an entire group of people, thousands and thousands of people. You've made them hate God and hate Christians, and you've aided in their damnation. And so I'm reaching out to you again, as always, putting my neck out on the line, just trying to bring you to the knowledge of the truth, even though I know I get a lot of flack for it. So anyways, I'm going to put some links up on the screen you guys can check out. Science and religion are not contrary to each other. In fact, I became a Christian because I was an atheist, I believed in the theory of evolution, and science, the study, the systematic study of the natural world, through observable evidence, through testing, through repetition, has demonstrated that evolution, which was the foundation of my worldview, is false. It's for that reason that I came to the knowledge of the truth. So check out some of the links on the screen, check out my website, check out my YouTube channel, and be a little more skeptical of Thunderfoot. He is closed-minded, he does have an agenda, and he is a religious man. He preaches his gospel. He is evangelistic. He wants to convert you. He's no different than me, other than the fact that I'm right and he's wrong.